God, I love it when women do politics, don't you? All right, I'm really excited because somebody I really look up to is about to come up on the stage. So, imagine being a woman running for president. Yeah. Imagine being a woman who ran for president in 2012 as the Green Party candidate and is getting ready to run again in 2016 like a boss. Please help me welcome to the stage. You know, I love what she said. She said, you know, I'm a medical doctor by profession, but I'm dealing in politics because that's where all the sickness is. And I thought, wow, amen to that, sister. All right, bring her up to the stage. Dr. Jill Stein.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Free and Equal Elections. Thank you to Belasco Theater. And thank you to United We Stand Festival. Because united is how we stand and divided is how we fall. And as you know, if you're a person out there trying to find a job and keep a roof over your head and food on the table and find health care and get out of debt, you know, it's not so easy out there. And we're up against a big system in so many ways. It's a struggle to walk down the street, you know. If you happen to be walking while black or brown, you're taking your life in your hands just walking down the street with this militarized police that we have right now. So there's so many things that we need to stand together on to take back our freedom and equality, because that's what Free and Equal is about. It's about freedom and equality. That means standing together for our rights, which are really being taken away from us now. Not only our rights in the face of militarized and racist policing, but the drug wars that have thrown 1 out of every 3 African-American men in jail, basically, now in prison on probation or parole. So we have this racist prison state. How about we empty out those prisons? How about the non-violent prisoners all just get a free card, out of jail, back to home, get a job and an education? Instead of funding incarceration, we should be funding education. And I say, we bailed out the bankers. Remember those bankers who screwed us and tanked the economy with their waste, fraud, and abuse? You know how much we gave them? $17 trillion. How about we bail out all these young people who are trying to go to college, who are trying to go to a trade school? How about we make that free and we bail out student debt? That's the kind of debt we need to be bailing out. And we need to restore our rights, our civil rights, and our human rights. We've got this attack on our rights for press, for privacy, our rights to protest, and all the political prisoners, from Mumia Abu Jamal to Chelsea Manning to Julian Assange. How about we set them all free? Because their freedom is our freedom. If they're not free, we're not free. And while we're at it, we need to banish the drones and bring the troops home. Instead of expanding these wars, how about we just create a weapons embargo and we stop setting the Middle East on fire by selling weapons to every tribal warlord out there? We're arming everybody, so those weapons are coming back to haunt us. We spent $5 trillion on Iraq and Afghanistan alone. $5 trillion. And what do we have to show for it? What we have to show for it actually is ISIS, because violence creates more violence. So the response to that is not another war, it's let's bring the troops home and let's stop sending weapons that are setting the Middle East on fire. So these are the kinds of things the American public wants to talk about. You know, we want to talk about how we get jobs, not these so-called corporate free trade agreements that keep sending our jobs overseas and depressing our wages at home. We don't need more NAFTA and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We need jobs right here. good jobs, and living wages. These are the kinds of things we want to talk about in a debate. And one of the things I love about Free and Equal and Christina is that she brings everybody to the table. And one of the things that Free and Equal did in 2012 was create a real open debate. Not just these two corporate parties who are all sponsored by the very deep pockets, with a few exceptions, like the gentleman who just spoke before me. There are some good people with integrity, but the parties are pretty sold out. So we need to have open debates, not these closed debates. We need open debates. If a candidate is on the ballot for a majority of voters, we say voters have a right to know about the candidates that are on their ballot. Would you say so? Yeah. We have a right to vote, and we have a right to know who we're voting for. So I want to tell you, we have a petition. We have a couple of court cases. We're actually suing the Commission on Presidential Debates. That's this kind of big, fancy, formal name for a group which is really just a front for the Democratic and Republican parties. When they took over the debates that used to be run by a nonpartisan organization, the League of Women Voters, when the Democratic and Republican parties took over in the 1980s, the League of Women Voters quit in disgust, saying that they were going to perpetrate a fraud on the American voter because of all the control that they exert over the debates. I don't know if you watched the Republican debates the other night, but you had this audience that was madly cheering for basically austerity and for tax cuts for the wealthy. They were cheering madly. But who's this audience? You know, this is a hand-picked audience, and it's televised on primetime TV to make you feel like you're just out there on the lunatic fringe. If you want fair taxes, if you want to tax the millionaires, if you want to have a budget that ensures we have a safety net and we have good public schools and we're providing free public higher education. And while we're at it, how about health care as a human right for everybody? Those are the kinds of things we need in a debate. And what I love about Free and Equal and Christina Tobin is that they are helping to build open debates. They did it in 2012, and they're going to do it again in 2016. And I heard just now, Christina just told me, I'm very excited, you're going to be the first to know, Free and Equal has now scheduled the first open debate for the 2016 general election right here at the Belasco Theater on August 30th. So come on back on August 30th. And in the meantime, I want you to do one thing. We have a petition to this Commission on Presidential Debates telling them we, the voters, demand open debates. We don't just want one Democrat and one Republican. They represent now only half of American voters. That means half of voters are independent or belong to small political parties. So go to my website, which is jill2016.com, jill2016.com, and there's a petition there. It's also on my Facebook page, which you can just Google, Dr. Jill Stein, if you remember it. But you can sign the petition and tell your friends to sign the petition. And this is just the beginning, because then we're going to start a boycott of the sponsors of these closed debates and really make them feel the heat, because they are doing an incredible disservice by holding these sham debates. We want real debates so we can talk about democracy, we can talk about real justice, we can talk about real jobs, we can talk about bringing the troops home, we can talk about ending the war on drugs. We can not only talk about it, we can actually make it happen, because we, the people, are the ones who should be running the show. And it's we the people. When you put us together, 40 million students who are in debt, 1 out of every 3 African Americans who are held hostage by the racist prison state, when you start adding us up, we have a majority. We are most of the voters. We are America. We can create a future that is just, democratic, healthy, and there and available for us all, for people, planet, and peace. We can make it happen. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Let's all support free and equal elections and open debates. Thank you so much.